The absolute number one question I always get is how to get started with publishing something. And the answer is actually much simpler than you may expect. It's also kind of strangely poetic to start this new series with a video on how to get started about getting started. Right. If you're ready to find out, let's jump straight into the tips. Hi, my name is Chris and I run a company called Loresmith. We make role-playing products to use with games such as Dungeons & Dragons. On this channel, I like to share my thoughts on everything related to creative product development, crowdfunding, getting things published, starting and running your own company. And while we make role-playing products, many of the ideas will apply to other industries as well. Before we continue, take a moment to like this video, consider subscribing and hit the notification bell if you never want to miss a thing. Alright, if you're ready to get going, let's roll. So the best advice I can give to get started with publishing something is to actually get started. Just do it. It's such a simple piece of advice that it's often overlooked, but it's incredibly powerful. It's so powerful, in fact. Do it. But getting started is actually very scary. And that's often the reason why a lot of people never get started. Let's face it, we all have these beautiful, pretty ideas living inside of our heads. And it's actually scary to get started, because getting started means that there's a chance you might fail, or what you created doesn't really live up to the quality of the ideas that you had in your mind. A lot of the things in life that we do as humans is based on psychology, and fear plays a big part in that. And that's why so many people put off getting started. So my number one advice to getting started with anything really is to get started. Ideas are priceless and worthless at the same time. They can be pure bliss. They can be everything at once, and they can be nothing at all. It's a strange paradox. The longer you stay with the ideas in your mind without committing to get them realized, the bigger is the risk that you don't commit to start at all. And this is a risk. This is the death trap. Because all ideas are just that. They are ideas. And ideas are meant to be realized. For example, if Edison didn't try 1,000 ways to create a light bulb, it would have just remained ideas in his mind. But he got out, started, tried things, failed, overcame, learned, and eventually he succeeded. If it wasn't for him going out and getting started to realize his ideas, we would still be lighting our gaming rooms with candles, which is kind of okay. But the point is, it's our number one responsibility to take our ideas, ambitions, dreams in life and to go out and realize them. Get started. In fact, get started today. So, to conclude, this second piece of advice is to not take your ideas too seriously. You need fantastic ideas, but they will shape and develop into what will eventually become the final product. And those two things will never be exactly the same. In fact, one of our favorite pieces of entertainment, Star Wars, if you look at the original ideas that George Lucas had and the final first movie, A New Hope, you can ask George Lucas and he will tell you that the final product didn't really live up to his imagination. So it's totally fine, and it's actually a skill and mandatory to learn to embrace your ideas for what they are. Not perfect, not the end result, but just the starting of the journey. So the third and final piece of advice for this video is to think small. A lot of people set themselves up for disappointment and failure by having too large of an ideas which don't match their current experience and skill set. For example, with a role-playing product, Perhaps you've always dreamed about doing this giant campaign book full of wonderful world building, player options, everything. But that's a tall order, especially if you've never published anything before. You simply don't have the skill set and experience yet to go through all of the steps required to take the idea, develop it, and get it published. So the best advice I can give is to think small. Out of the big idea, take the smallest possible part you can get and start there. So perhaps this means writing and finishing the introduction chapter to get people excited. Write it, have it edited, proofread it, go through layout, do nice typesetting, ask a designer or a graphics artist or an illustrator to provide you with the graphics to complete it, and then learn the skills to get it published so that you can ask friends and fans to critique it, provide you feedback. Now you've gone through the entire loop. You've come full circle. Suddenly, you've gone from an idea to creation all the way to seeing it fully realized and published. And by taking a small part, this is much easier. Otherwise, if you dream too big, it's all too easy to get stuck along the way and never finish at all. And that's the biggest showstopper, and that will hurt your self-confidence and will make you quit altogether. So those were my 3 pieces of advice on how to get started publishing something. If you like this video, consider commenting, let me know your thoughts, like the video, and consider subscribing, so I'll see you in the next video.